from the fabulous Hidden Valley Raceway.
Green light.
We're racing in the tropics. We're about to bring the noise of the supercars. 26 of them on the rev limiter. Red lights on, and we are racing. Davison versus Shane Van Gisbergen, and once again, Van Gisbergen is just so clutch, and he gets the job done.
That was a superb start. The initial jump was very equal, but the secondary part of the start, Van Gisbergen even able to get out onto the outside line and run around almost the perfect line into turn one. Big slide, we cut right out in the dirt alongside Percat. He loses 2 spots, and might be 3 spots, because Scott Pye and Mark Winterbottom now trying to capitalise.
That came from Courtney. James Courtney aggressive at the exit of turn 1, shoving the former champ high and dry. And the dust flies between turns 5 and 6 up through the valley. We take you on board with the Monster Energy Mustang of Cam Waters. It's dusty, it's hot and heavy in there, and Scott Pye's got some damage on the right front. There's smoke coming from the front of the DeWalt Tools Commodore.
And Garth Tander spoke to Macaulay Jones before the start and said, you're right there with Cam Waters and Chas Mostert. And that's exactly where he is. He's parked right between those heavy hitters.
Not afraid to use some muscle. And there goes Jack LeBrock in the Truck Assist Mustang.
How many cars have we seen in there over the weekend? In a popular spot, hasn't it? So this is Macaulay Jones. We're talking about what a qualifying job that was, and that was the end of his good qualifying job, because that's a full rotation. That's coming out of 6 up to 7, I think. Yes, it is. Yep. Yeah, lucky not to make the fence. Oh, he did, just slightly.
It was off the bumper of the local legends Commodore of Fabian Coulthard. And meanwhile, at turn 1, Jack Smith getting together. I think that was Brady Kostecki. That got him as the pit window is open and the stops begin. Rear tyres for the Owen Tools car. Like a small delay on that one. Will Brown and Erebus get the job done. He drove from 22nd up to 4th yesterday. Great job.
There's going to be plenty of stopping,
15-second
I'm
time
sure.
penalty, 15-second time penalty. Car 99 for a driving infringement.
We're hearing that Brady Kostecki's getting a penalty. And how about this? So these two teams, we're talking about them sharing a pit boom, and an ex-Tickford employee, he now works on this side, giving everyone down there a bit of a spray.
Yeah, what's
but he's actually unhappy with Erebus. Barry Ryan's come into the fight. He's never going to back down.
It's about where the gear has been placed. So that's the gamesmanship of what goes on in pit lane. You can see the rivalries there, and you can see the tension, but that will be all about where they put their gear to drive around for the stop. So Kostecki coming in now, the Brody variety.
How cool is Bo Repair's helmet cam? This week it's going on for the Erebus team. Now the 15-second starts now. Thank you, Paz. Just showing the car controller who's in charge of letting Brody back out.
Hope he's got good eyes.
It's a long 15 seconds. And about now. And away goes Brady. He's unfortunately at the back of the pack.
See how these go. There's been a couple of little glitches in the pit stops for the top teams this weekend. It's a pretty nice stop. Oh, he's stalled. That's over and out. So a little bit too much throttle percentage. Easy to do. These cars are hard to drive away under any circumstance. And there's Percat that I was talking about. So that's pretty close.
Look at the difference between the 17 of Will Davison and Anton De Pasquale, who lost the better part of 5-6 seconds, but he's charged up to try and make it back, and now he's bowled a wide down at turn 1. It's unravelling for the Shell V Power Star.
He's really got to take a few of these little mistakes out of his repertoire at the moment.
20 tyres all up for Saturday and Sunday on this new Dunlop Sportsmax Super Soft tyre. Oh, Waters on the absolute edge and over the curb. His family was doing plenty of that last week at the Fink. 2 riders finishing inside the top 10, and his cousin's also been racing here this week in the Superbike Championship. Talented family out of Mildura. Fink Desert Race taking place in Alice Springs a week ago. Wow, Jacobson sideways on the curb. A couple of graduates out of the Dunlop Super 2 Series squaring off.
And he's going to have a dive. He looks down the inside. He tries to get it stopped. He actually gave him a bump there, I think. We didn't see it totally, and now Jacobson just escorts him. So there's a little bit of a tit-for-tat show going on here. We haven't seen the precursor to whatever has gone on.
The big brother was the winner out of that one in the 27, the wildcard entry of Kurt Kostecki got both of them. And both the Team Sydney car and that Matt Stone racing car dragging some parts along the ground. As a result, a bit of feeling it started at turn 1.
Yep, bump and grind there. That's okay. That's all pretty fair at this point.
Oh,
Now, we saw Mostert and Whincup drive through here together before. It was beautiful.
look at the sparks coming off.
That's
these
not
two.
so beautiful. That's ugly and wild. That could be a giant crash. You're over that curb at 205, 210K. You make 215K before you press the brake. So now there's this bump. So he tries to do this. He pushes, bang, runs into him, runs him wide, and then says, I just might drive you into the mulga.
Will Brown closing in behind them. You were just talking about the young Erebus star from Toowoomba. A little place in Queensland that seems to turn out some handy race car drivers, and Courtney's just going to keep that in bounds down to turn 1. Final car to pit is Scott Pye.
Here we
We've seen
go.
this problem before. Oh, this
It's an
team
epidemic, isn't it?
are just having such a torrid weekend, given they were so fast. What could have been? He picked up 3 podiums here from the 6 races last year. He's come here with an absolute hot rod, and they're going to leave with no trophies. What could have been Team 18 this weekend?
The back of Slade. They're currently in 8th and 9th. So Van Gisbergen, everyone's done their stops now. Van Gisbergen leads from Davison, Whincup, Mostert, Courtney, Percat, Winterbottom, Slade, Waters, Will Brown. That's the current 10. And that gap is 1.2 from first to second. It's 0.6 of a second between Whincup and Davison. So those two good mates, they're going to have a battle in the closing stages also. 10 laps remaining.
That was Phil Keed, rider screen engineer for Scott Pye. They've been working together since this event last year. Phil spent quite a bit of time at Brad Jones Racing as now Cam Waters gets the inside and heads up driving from Tim Slade to just avoid the contact. But that was aggressive, decisive, job done.
Very hot, but it's able to get it done. And you were just talking about Todd's bad weekend. David Reynolds has had a shocking weekend also. The worst weekend he's had in Darwin ever.
It's been a good track to him. Al McVean and Dave Reynolds, engineer and driver. Quick little chat off the back of what happened there.
Oh, a little mistake. He was able just to gather it, but he ended up losing so much time in the mid-corner there. He turned it in. He just had a little lock wheel. He turned it in, gathered it up, but by the time he did, he was out too wide. And Anton now able to sneak down the inside. Randall now looking down the inside the other way. That's a Shane Van Gisbergen move. That's a Gisbergen move from yesterday. He's done it to him. He's moved the other way. Now, can Anton hang on the outside? No, he can't. That's a good battle, Thomas Randall. Well done. That shows some spirit, some hard racing from young Thomas.
Oh, Anton now, turn 5. Goddard's a little bit wide for a 7. Jones will move through. Smith will commit around the outside. It's dirty out there. There's marbles. There's bits of Dunlop rubber everywhere. And the 2 BJR cars advance.
That was sweaty palm stuff, that. I wouldn't have wanted to have been Goddard around the outside through that long right-hander. They got away with it.
So impressive watching the next generation of supercar stars come through. But it's the experienced guys at the front.
For car 14 for a driving infringement. That's a 15-second time penalty.
Todd Hazelwood's weekend has just got 15 seconds worse. About 2 Ks to go for this man now, Shane Van Gisbergen. He won the first 6, and then he watched 6 other drivers go on from there to claim the next 7 races. And now he's back on Sunday at Hidden Valley, and he's just going to let it start to slide out a little bit as well. It's party time for Red Bull Ampol Racing and SVG in front of a packed house here at Hidden Valley. They're going to cheer him on all the way to the checkered flag. Last lap here for Shane Van Gisbergen, a champion in 2016, and in the top end, a track where the winners usually go on to win the title. He's going to take a big step forward once again. Is he heading for the title in 2021? SVG gets it done in the tropics. The Supercar Safari up here has been claimed comprehensively by Red Bull Ampol Racing.
Superb job. Has it? Beautiful car control. Big slides by this guy. He loves doing that stuff. It's his 48th career victory. His 8th for the season, Chad. Thoroughly deserved. Beautiful starts in the 2 races today. Been able to dominate. Jeremy Moore there. David Couchy, Wes McDougall, Roland Dane, Jess Dane. All the hierarchy of the Red Bull Ampol racing team. Mark Dutton as the final one in the queue. And beautiful, beautiful driving, great teamwork. And that pit stop they made yesterday, which was horrific. Instead of being 4 seconds, it was 30. As SVG shows us his style, but they got away with it, and they've driven so well and performed so well as a team through the course of this Sunday.
He might not say much out of the race car, but he certainly lets the race car speak for him when he's on track. Whether he's being competitive or whether he's celebrating, no one can drop a skid like this guy. In front of a packed crowd here in Darwin, he's going to light it up.
Those people up on the hill there will be loving it. 221 points now, Chad. 300 points for a round weekend. So he's 2/3 of the way into one round as the fans embrace this victory. And this Kiwi is going to take a power of beating in the Repco Supercars Championship for 2021.
Solid drive once again from Shane Van Gisbergen. That was our first ever Dunlop Super Soft tyre burnout. And I'm going to score that one pretty highly. Shane Van Gisbergen, by just over 2 seconds, picks up his second race win of the day. It's Will Davison home for second, Jamie Whincup for third. Another good run and a good bank of points for Chaz Mostert here this weekend. He's been solidly inside the top 5 in a win yesterday.
And he won the round. So that, with 265 points compared to Shane Van Gisbergen with 249, Mostert actually wins the round. Very nice job by Chaz.
Celebrating his new deal. Walkinshaw Andretti United and Chaz Mostert together for the next few years.